questions. I'm going to go to Senator Ludlam.
Thanks, Jeff. I just wanted to put a couple of quick questions to you, Mr McCormick, on UAVs. Will you tick me off if I call them drones? Or is that... No. You don't care? Okay. I just got a couple of questions about CASA's official role in regulation to UAVs. And my understanding is that that was last outlined in the white paper. Is that probably the best reference for me, the 09 aviation white paper?
Regulation-wise, Senator, we do have a current regulation which is in place, but UAS or drones are mentioned in the flight path of the future, the white paper.
All right, recognising it's a pretty fast-moving field and that you have been on the record in the past making some public statements about your capacity to cope with enforcing regs as they apply to these ill vehicles. Can you just tell us what are the trends in the number of individuals and the number of companies applying for an official UAV operating licence?
Thank you, Senator. Since we've looked at over the last year, the number of people in that industry has over doubled. It's gone from 15 to 38 operator certificate holders at the moment. And this number we expect to double again in 2014.
Right. And it's just going to keep on doing that, isn't it? What are the safety implications of these vehicles if they're not effectively regulated in Australia?
Well, they are effectively regulated, Senator, at the moment. The trouble is that the regulation, which we have had in existence for some time, CASAR Part 101, did not envisage this sort of explosion in numbers, and certainly of the very low, lightweight ones, which you can order, the octocopters and things that you can order over the internet. Now, we are proposing to review 101. It is under review now. There is an ICAO committee which is working on standards or a manual of standards for the tight document for remotely piloted aircraft systems. We're represented on that committee. In actual fact, one of a CASA officer chairs that committee, and we're taking that information on board as we can. At the moment, we have 12 applications in the pipeline in addition to those 38, and we expect that there will be more applications as well, to most probably more than double.
I can imagine. And these applications, we're talking specifically about businesses or individuals who advertise for UAV services that need to get licensed by CASA to be able to operate commercially.
At the moment, we treat UAS as requiring that when they are commercial operations. Now, of course, the advent of the small UAS with high-fidelity cameras, etc., was not envisaged back in the days of the CASAR Part 101.
Yeah.
And in those days, the vehicle to carry those sort of cameras or surveillance sensors was quite large.
Yeah.
So the cost involved meant that they were commercial entities that were going into, or of course, military. Now we're seeing high-fidelity, lightweight, easily ordered type systems. And we are now looking to try and regulate them on the basis of at the moment, commercial operation, but then eventually weight, most probably.
Well, good luck with that.
Well, the minimum height requirement, would be out of the range of a 20 driver.
The height limit at the moment is 400 feet, except for military, not above 400.
Within range. It could be a power line, but you never know.
Okay. Time is of the essence.
So it
Senator
is.
Ludlam.
That's all right. Senator Heffernan's interventions are always entertaining. How is CASA checking, testing and signing off new applicants for an OC or a UAV controller certificate? How is that actually done?
It might be best if I give that on notice, Senator,
like.
as a procedure.
Yeah, that's probably sensible.
All I can say, Senator, is Betty...
What's CASA's relationship with the Australian Certified UAV Operators, the ACUO?
Sorry, Senator.
What is CASA's relationship with the ACUO?
We don't actually have a relationship with that organisation, Senator. There are a number of organisations representing. There's AVUSA, and there is that one as well.
Yeah.
And there are others who say that they represent differing parts of this industry. We take everyone as they come to us on their applications and what they have to say.
Okay. Would you say that there is a growth in illegal or unlicensed operators of these vehicles, as far as the current regs are drafted?
I think particularly in the low weight, easily, as I say, ordered over the internet type ones, and when we're using, say, 7 kilograms as a weight cut-off, below that, I would dare say for every UAS we know exists, there's most probably 2 that we know that we don't know of.
Yeah.
The difficulty is when someone reports someone's flying one of these things over a paddock or over a sport field. So by the time we get there, they've gone, and then it's almost impossible to track who it is. But we are addressing those issues in Part 102 because each of these things has a GPS sensor in it, which is unique to it, even the small ones. So we're looking at ways of how we can do it. But the control of the lightweight, low-end issues, particularly, it's my view that safety is always paramount to me, but the issue will not turn on safety, it'll turn on privacy.
Will turn on privacy. Why would you say it won't turn on safety? You even fly a 7-kilogram vehicle into the path of a light plane or something, you could do enormous harm.
Well, of course, anybody who wishes to do nefarious things can do it. I think the issues around the control of them, though, and the way they come into the country, the fact that they're here, once they're here, I have very great difficulty in going out and getting somebody to tell me that they're operating these or to register on a website. We're looking at all those possibilities, but the availability is so high that I think the issues that privacy will raise will bring these under question before the safety issue of a lightweight. And the ICAO use terms like harmless. Now, I may not necessarily agree with that term, but that is to indicate that sort of operation. I think last time we looked, and I stand to be corrected on this, there were 21 states in the United States which were considering taking action against UAS on privacy grounds.
Yeah. Well, I guess I could speak to the Privacy Commissioner later in the week, but I was interested in your point of view as something that to me looks like it would be formidably difficult to regulate once these things become ubiquitous. So it's more the commercial end where operators would seek licences and there's some parameters around their use, and often that'll be of the heavier vehicles that could travel a bit higher, for example.
It will, Senator.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
And I think it turns also on the operator. If you talk to, say, a fire service wants to use bushfire monitoring or whatever with the UAS, well, fire brigades understand risk. They understand risk every time they go to work. They may not understand the aviation side of it. So people out there in the commercial operations may not necessarily be afforded the same as what we would do with emergency services, for instance. But that's all under development, Senator. So
the last one from me, has ACUO provided CASA with information regarding breaches of aviation regs in Australia?
As an organisation or as members from that organisation?
As an organisation.
I'll
You take that on notice if you don't have it at the table.
I don't think we've heard from that organisation, Senator, but we'll check, and if we have, we'll get back to you on notice.
Yeah, take it on notice if you like. I'm just interested to know whether you've had your attention brought to uncertified operators who are actually breaking aviation regs or not, and what action was taken.
We have had individuals raise those concerns, yes.
Okay, but not necessarily as an organisation.
No, I don't think. Yeah.
You're winding me up?
Thanks, Senator Ludlam. Yeah, I've got to wind you up.